abstract. Yeah, it's complicated. What you say, the way you act. Well, it makes me so confused. I don't know what to do anymore. Can't you just make up your mind? My heart drops when you play around. How can you be up when I'm down? Don't wanna think about it right now. Maybe you just wanna be friends, but there's a fight when we are talking. Maybe you just wanna pretend, but I can read between the lines. Even if I can't deny that all the things you said are hurting. Still wanna be with you. I think you want it too. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna be. Baby, I don't wanna be. No, baby, I don't wanna be. Baby, I don't wanna be. How it hurts to see you smile like a dagger in me. She just seems so juvenile. I just want it to be me. I wanna set your world on fire. Oh, just so sure I'll stick around. Oh, my heart drops when you play around. How can you be up when I'm down? Don't wanna think about it right now. Maybe you just wanna be friends, but there's a fight when we are talking. Maybe you just wanna pretend, but I can read between the lines. Even if I can't deny that all the things you said are hurting. Still wanna be with you. I think you want it too. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna be. Baby, I don't wanna be. Oh, even if I can't deny that all the things you said are hurting. Still wanna be with you. I think you want it too. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna be. No, baby, I don't wanna be. No, baby, I don't wanna be. Baby, I don't wanna be.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss now. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are headed in, or we are about to head into the evening portion of our second day. We're almost done with day 2. Can you believe it? Like almost halfway done. Wow. These last 2 days have been amazing, and I have just been so excited to see everyone so excited in the chat. Everybody's been so positive. I absolutely love to see that in our crafter community. All right, so we have another sponsor coming up with a fabulous demonstration. This is not her first time to come to the Card Maker Success Summit. So everyone give a big shout out to Karen Burniston of KB Riley.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, Karen?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, before we get too far into your project, okay. Harriet, you're driving me nuts. She's all like, I'm pushing the button. Anyway, she got me all flustered now.
No worries.
We have a special promo that you are sharing tonight as a part of our live stream. You want to talk a little bit about it?
So on our website, which is just my name, KarenBurniston.com, we are offering 20% off all of our die sets. You just have to use the code POPUP20, and you need to act fast because that sale only goes through tomorrow.
Okay, it's not 48 hours?
It is. I mean, we started it yesterday, actually, so it's going through the whole summit. It's, yeah, it's yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. 3 days. 3 days.
Okay, cool. All right, so, and make sure to use the link that we are scrolling below so that Karen knows that all of those purchases came from the summit. All right, Karen, we are going to let you go full screen. I'm going to take myself out, and you have the stage.
All righty. Well, thanks, everyone. This is not my first summit. I'm excited to be back. I think it's my third one. So anyway, I love these events. They are wonderful. So what we are is a company that makes dies. We're a die cutting company, and there are designs that I do, and my specialty is pop-up dies. So tonight I thought I would show you one of our best-selling dies. Actually, is our photo collage pop-up die. But tonight we're going to do it a little bit differently. It's going to be in this top fold card, and it's going to be an autumn collage instead. And I cannot take credit for this wonderful card. It was actually my business partner, Tanya, who owns Riley and Company. So you may have seen her presentation last night. And she actually designed this card, and she was so kind. She sent it to me like all kitted up and everything. It was fabulous. And I practiced today. I did it ahead of time just to see if I could get it done because, Tanya put a lot of pieces on that, which I think is gorgeous, but I just want to make sure that we could get the whole card done. Let me show you what we're using here. Okay. So I really like how Tanya designed this because she's really hitting, if you're new to the brand at all, she's kind of hitting all of the categories of our die sets. So we've got a pop-up die, that's our photo collage, but she's also bringing in some of our border blends. These are kind of a fun die because we have 3 different styles of them, but they have these little notches that can be seated into the die next to it. And when you put those 2 dies together and cut them at the same time, you not only get your positive space borders, but you get a new border in the space between, and then you can spin it around and do different combinations. So from these 3 dies, you can make all these borders and more just by how you combine them together. So those are really fun. Kind of, I have a little technical feature to them. We do nested shape dies, as do, many companies, but ours have a kind of a distinctive pattern. We do cross hatch. So, you'd be using the labels crosshatch tonight, but it's got a little crosshatch pattern. We do a lot of little cute animal sets. The idea being with these is that you're layering paper to make your little, animals versus, say stamping them and coloring them or whatever. You're doing it all with paper. So we have lots of little small animal sets, and we're going to use the owl out of the feathered animals. We have lots of word sets. So we're going to use word set that has all those autumn words. And then one of my favorite dies, our autumn elements die set that just has all sorts of leaves and pumpkins. And last but not least is the pop-up we're using, which is our photo collage pop-up. This is so popular, I didn't even have any. I told Tanya, I was like, I've run out. I live in Texas, so I work remotely. And so I had to just print the packaging off of the computer today. But basically, these pieces combine to make this cool collage. And it comes with like this little Polaroid frames and things to be able to decorate it. And it makes a really cool collage of photos. It's one of our best-selling dies, this one. So it was designed to be able to make these really cool photo collages, but of course you can put anything other than photos on it. And you can also choose not to use photos or the Polaroid frames at all, and instead just put whatever you want on it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this card here, which is a 6x6 top fold card featuring the photo collage. Okay, so ahead of time, so that I knew we could get to all the good fun parts of the pop-up, I went ahead and added the pattern paper into the card. So these are just squares of pattern paper and some decoration down here. And then the middle part is going to be our photo collage. Okay, let me get that out here. I'm gonna move this to the side here. So photo collage pop-up, the parts that make the mechanism is the die that cuts the mechanism itself that looks like this. And then there is a die that will cut, well, there's two dies really in the set that cut identical little arms. So basically with one time through your machine, you can get everything you need to make the mechanism. I like to use a heavy, smooth cardstock for this. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy heavy, but I wouldn't use anything lightweight. I would make, 100 pound would be great if you had 100 pound for that photo collage mechanism, because it's doing a lot of spinning, you want it to hold up. Okay, for the purposes of the video, I am going to draw in the score lines that the die has made. So when you run that through your die cutting machine, which is any machine that can accommodate a wafer thin die, it's going to cut all that, and it's going to put a score line in an X. It's going to put a score line up the middle, and it's going to put two horizontal score lines there and there. Okay. And for folding those, I like to start on the diagonal. I fold that like a valley and back out. Then I just turn to do the other diagonal, fold that like a valley. Valley means I'm folding towards myself and back out. And then this one up the middle is a mountain, folding away from myself. Okay. And what that's going to make is those two opposite triangles. And they're going to naturally just want to come in as you kind of open and close it if you do that valley, valley, mountain. These little horizontal folds are valley folds, meaning these are going to come towards the center. Oops, helps if I do it right on the line. Okay, eventually, but not yet, those two are going to slot together. Okay, but we're not to that point yet. So first thing I like to do is work the folds. All right, valley, valley, mountain, and then valley, valley. All right, then there are 4 dots, which I'm not sure how well those are showing up on the video, but there's the die has made a couple dots. That's made a dot here, a dot here, a dot here, and a dot here. And that's to help you add those spinning arms to your mechanism. So what I like to do is I start at a dot and I draw an arrow outward from the dot. Okay. And what you'll end up with is 4 arrows, and they're all going in different directions. So this dot, I go this way, this dot, I go that way. You know what I mean? So you've got all 4 directions. And then each of your arms has a tapered end, and that tapered end will line up, depends on which one you grab, with, say, that edge, just perfectly. So what you do is you cover your arrow that you just drew with some adhesive, and then you use those arms, and you've got that tapered end to line up there. I don't know how well that's visible. Hang on one second. I'm going to grab a little Post-it note here. Got dark cardstock. See that? Okay. Then when I get to this one, I'm going to do the same thing, but now I'm starting at the dot and I'm following the arrow with my adhesive. All right. And the only thing about this one is I want it under, I want it down into that adhesive. Again, I've got a tapered end to kind of line up. This time it's the fold line that I'm using. And the only thing I have to watch on the vertical ones is that I don't pin this down. So I've gone underneath it. You see there, so I don't pin it down. So if you can master those 2 arms like that, then you just have to flip it around and do the exact same thing. Again, it's going to be identical on this side. So adhesive on the dot, go out from the arrow, adhesive on the dot, go up from the arrow. All right, grab my taper. It'll match that edge perfectly. Help me get it straight. Grab this arrow. This arm. Put the taper in. And there you go. So that's how this mechanism works. I'm still not going to put those little notches together because I'm going to do that after I get it in the card. But essentially, when it folds up, now that those arms are on it, kind of looks, I don't know, it reminds me of a robot. I like to think of it as a robot. And if you think about this being the robot's face, the goal is you put adhesive all over the robot's face, but I like to keep it away from the edges. I like to just kind of concentrate my adhesive in the middle rather than completely shellac that whole thing with adhesive. The photo collage mechanism likes to be able to lift up a little bit to help it twist. Let's see if I don't know if I can show you that, but there's right underneath there, that little edge there. As it twists, it really loves to have just a little give to it. So I like to say, kind of keep your adhesive just in the center there. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look down through that hole that's in the center so that I can get this fold right over the fold of the card. Okay, and I can look down through, or if it's hard to see, I can even backfold my card so that that hole is essentially centered over that thing. And then I can slide it down to where it's even, top to bottom. Okay. So once I have it right over the fold of the card, in line with the fold of the card, then I'm going to just lift that up and get adhesive all over my robot face. And again, I'm kind of sticking in the middle, not all the way out to the edges. And I'm going to stick that first side down. Okay, so I've got this side down. Oops, I slid. Okay. Once I have that side down, then I can put these notches together because it's easy to do. I can pick up the card, let's see, or pick up the mechanism, I guess I should say, and then slide those two together. Okay, then I can glue down the other side. And if I backfold the card a little bit, you can see I have access to that, where what essentially would be my other robot face. Again, I'm going to concentrate my adhesive mostly in the middle parts, not going all the way out to the edges. And then I just want to make sure those slots are all the way together as far as they can go when I press down this side. Okay. My favorite is glue. I use Lineco neutral pH adhesive. That's my favorite. And I use our little fine tip bottles. And then the trick to keeping these bottles just flowing throughout your crafting session is a damp paper towel in a jar, like a wee yogurt jar would be perfect. Keep that needle tip down in that damp paper towel. Your glue will stay flowing for you throughout your whole crafting session. It won't clog up on you or anything. Okay, once that glue sets up, now I should be able to close the card, and that's going to start spinning. And then I can give it a good squish in the closed position. So you can see how generic that is. Oh, I'm going so fast that my focus is going out on my camera here. There we go. Okay. So I could put anything on that and decorate it. And what Tanya did, which I thought was just so pretty for the upcoming fall season, please get here fall weather, is she put pumpkins and leaves and stuff all over and just decorated it for fall. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so she was kind enough to die cut all those leaves for me. That's using our Autumn Elements die set. So that comes with the pumpkin and the apple and the acorn and 3 different leaves in a vine. So it's a really great little set. Embossed feature on that pumpkin and stencil so that you can get that cool look to it and stuff. So, all right, so let's start putting things together. What you have to be with the photo collage is you have to be flexible, meaning you've got to watch for catch points as you decorate it, and you have to be willing to move things if you create a catch point as you go, because there's a lot of moving parts on this. I mean, look at how that has to move, and all those leaves have to find a place that they can fold down flat and not catch on each other as they open and close. So you've got to be flexible. I always start in the center, and I choose an element to go on, one side. So in this case, I'm going to put this pumpkin. I'm going to put some glue there in this center section, and then get that right on there like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put a leaf on the other side. And I kind of like to sort of figure out what parts are going to touch the pop-up and only put the glue where that's going to go. So in this case, just those 2 parts of the leaves. Once I get 2 items on, I always check it. I check it after every spoke that I decorate, every section that I decorate, I check it and see if there's any catch points. And if it's working great, then I move on. Okay, I'm going to move up to this next spoke up here. The first thing I like to do is I like to look and see, well, how is it moving? And this one up at the top, as I see, it's going to slide down and come to rest close to the fold right here. So that means as I put items on it, I probably need to have them a little bit more that way so that they don't cross the fold. So if you imagine if I put it on this side, it would slide down and cross the fold. And then as I close the card, I'd bend the leaf right in half. So for this one, I'm gonna try to keep my items more to the left on that one. So I'm gonna take a leaf, I'm gonna put it on there. Okay, I'm gonna close the card, see if it catches on anything. It's great. And then I just keep on moving on. You know, I don't think I'm even following what I did the first time or what Tanya did. I'm just having fun with my leaves. Okay, there's that one. And then let's put a vine behind there. Okay, so there's my little cluster of 3 items. I check it. It's working great. It's not catching on anything. Cool. And then I move on. So over here, this one, I look again. What is it going to do? Oh, it's going to flip over and land on its belly over here. Okay, but look at what it has to do. It has to clear this pumpkin. See how it's flipping over and it's going behind that pumpkin? So what that means to me is I need to keep my items very far out and a little bit down so that they don't hit that pumpkin. So I like to do that first. I like to just look at the way the arm is moving, and kind of gives me an idea of where things can go. And then I just have to be flexible. Actually, let's do it like this. I'm being a little bit fast with mine because I already tested it, you know, so as long as I kind of copy what I did before, I know it's going to work. So there we go. We've got a couple leaves out here on this arm, and that's working fine. But you can see how it's got a squeak behind that pumpkin there. So I'm just watching that as I go. Okay, how are we doing on time? All right. Watching my time here. Okay, let's put a leaf here. And a vine. So we've been in business since, I'll tell you a little bit about us while I'm doing this. We've been in business since 2017. Tanya and I are the co-owners. And we operate out of Topeka, Kansas is where our dyes ship from. But I work remotely from Houston area, Katy, Texas. And we know we're a niche die cutting company that focuses on my designs. Like I say, you know, it's a lot of pop-ups, but a lot of other dies as well. And, you know, we release about 40 dies a year. So it's not, you know, we don't like to discontinue things. We like to just come out with new things that are, like we like to say, backwards compatible. We'll give you new looks for your pop-up dies and things, new add-ons or whatever. So we try not to overwhelm with too many new designs, but we like to have, like I said, new things that come out that just kind of enhance the pop-ups with new looks. So that's how we do it. So over here, this one's going the other way. So I'm just kind of keeping it out on the ends. The general rule is as far out on the ends as you can get is the better. See, that one was hitting a little bit. It knocked it right off. Glue is such a good thing for, here we go. That one's fine. See, I had to move that yellow one because I had it too far down and it couldn't clear that leaf in the middle. So just always be flexible, be willing to say, hey, it's a collage, you know, it's going to be a little bit, however, this way and that way. Okay, the other thing you could do, so now I've got a working collage. It's looking great. But let's say I'm looking at a collage and it's working great and I see a little hole, a visual hole, like kind of right here. You don't have to try too hard to find a spot for it on the collage. If it's not a spot where something is going to scrape across it when the card closes, you can use the background of the card as a place to fill in an area and make it look visually full without having to try to find another spot on that collage that doesn't create a catch point. So they don't all have to move. I will say as a kid that when you got on the carnival, the merry-go-round and carousel, that's the word I was looking for. And, you know, you were like some of the last kids on there, and then you had to sit on the one that didn't go up and down, like the horses that didn't go up and down. I was always like, oh, I like the ones that go up and down. But I don't feel like the same rule applies for this. Okay, so there's a couple leaves on there. So then I'm just going to take some of my leftover leaves, stick them out here in the, you know, like they're falling through the air. You do want to keep things on your background of your card away from your collage because you can also create catch points that way. So you can imagine this is sliding right across here. So if I were to say, oh, I think a leaf would look great right there, then I could create a catch point. So just keep your other items, your background items, away from your collage. Okay, so here's a leaf. And what I know this is really a tip from Tanya, but I think she told me this. You don't have to count out your leaves. Just like find 4 or 5 colors and just cut all of them out of all the colors. And that way you have a lot of variety. And maybe you're not going to use them all, but you can always keep those for another project or something if you need to. But that seems to be the better way with these collages than having to say, well, I need this many, orange leaves and this many whatever leaves. Okay, moving on to some of our other die sets here. So the Happy Fall came out of our word set 7 Autumn. That also has Autumn, Thanksgiving, Welcome, Blessings colors. And then the labels is the way these work is they alternate between scored ones and then crosshatch and then scored and then crosshatch. And so I like that Tanya turned that label so that instead of it being this shape, it's more almost like a paper lantern looking shape. So that's kind of a cool look. So all she did is just layer 2 labels together and put the Happy Fall on there. And that's the inside of the card. I don't know. Okay, I think I have time to quickly throw the front of the card together. Okay. So I did do a little bit ahead of time. All right, so here is 2 pieces of pattern paper, borders around the perimeter, and those same labels in the middle. I did that ahead of time so that we'd have time to get this whole card together. And those are Echo Park papers, but the paper, shop your stash. That's what I always say, shop your stash. Whatever you've got is great. Okay, and then for the front of the cards, especially when you've got like an elaborate kind of pop-up going on the inside, man, my favorite thing is just like, don't double your work. Just make a simple lead-in with your leftover materials. Because most of the times these are going to be displayed open anyway. So, we're not here to double your work. But all Tanya did here is she took leftover leaves because she had cut them out of every color, every leaf out of every color. And then she just made a cute little kind of cluster of leaves. And then this is the little owl from the feathered animals that's already been put together. Now the wings are, they don't lift up, but if you want to lift them up, like say you want to have your owl holding something, you can just snip the little connection point and then that wing will lift up. So let's do that so that cutie can hold the leaf under her wing here. Okay, almost there. There. One this way. And then that little acorn from the autumn elements, kind of right here. Isn't that cute? I mean, you could stop there too. I mean, as far as, you want to go, you want to go. What Tanya did, which I thought was a really cool look, is that she took these maple leaves and she put them in the corners and then she just cut off the excess, which I thought was a very cool way to do the corners, and it covers up the corners of the borders. So I didn't have to be as precise when I put the borders on. Like there's even a little gap on that one. And I knew that the leaves were going to go over the corners, so it didn't matter. Okay. I'm going a little fast. I mean, I probably would take a little more time with that glue and everything if I was.
You've got plenty of time. Don't worry.
Oh, I do? Okay, good. Okay. I even ended up with a couple extra vines. So then I just snip off anything that crosses the edge. Like this, and then like this. Okay, so that is a 6x6 top fold card. So you would use a 6x6 envelope. And because it is a square card, you would have to use some extra postage on it. There is a non-machinable stamp. If you're in the US, there's a non-machinable stamp that you can get for odd size cards. It's got a butterfly on it. And that one would work great for mailing this. Some things to know about the photo collage die set is it really likes a more rigid card. So it operates the best if the card doesn't have a lot of flexibility to it. So in this case, the pattern paper is stiffening up that cardstock. But because I had a couple layers on the front, I went ahead and just added a panel of a scratch piece of cardstock. It didn't even, just had to be some kind of brown or orange or some color that would match the project, just so the heft of it feels really similar between the front and the back. That is certainly optional, but I did do that to give it more heft. But yeah, that's a really fun card.
Amazing. Okay. That is so cute. Karen, I'm going to totally put you on the spot.
Okay.
I don't know if you even have this within arm's reach, but
okay.
my absolute favorite die that you have, I talk about this all the time, are those pop-up balls.
Yes.
What are they called?
Well, they are called pop-up balls. So we have them in 3 sizes. The easiest way to see the 3 sizes is for me to grab the little snowman here.
Yes.
So the bottom layer here is the biggest pop-up ball we have, which is our surprise ball. And so that one will flatten down into a 5-inch square. And then after we had that one come out, people said, well, can we have a little bit smaller one so we can do stacked animals? I said, sure. So then we came out with the bitty ball that will flatten down into a 4 1/4-inch card. So that one would fit in your A2s. And then slim lines became popular and people said, could you go even smaller? I said, I'll give you one more, but that's it. So the smallest is our mini ball. And that one will flatten down into a 3 1/2-inch square. If it doesn't have, the nose is going to stick out further, but if you wanted to try and get in a slim line, you could. And then we have a snowman add-on set so that if you have all 3 balls, you can make something like that. Now these can go in cards. Let me show you a couple ball cards here. Wait, I gotta do them so you get the reveal here. So here's one that there's a video on my YouTube channel for, a little Halloween card. And then, there's the little, and that one's just stacking 2 of the smallest ball, the mini ball. And the way, you can put them onto a card with a brad, and then they're permanently attached to the card and they can spin around so you can see all the sides. Or what I've been doing lately, because people like to display their little animals, is making a card where the animal sits on something like an oval or something that can be slid under a couple pieces of paper. And that keeps it from flying completely out of the card when they first open it, but it's easily removable for display. So
it's the ones that come completely out of the card or the little box or whatever. That's the one I love. You
like the rubber band pop-ups with all the things.
Yes.
Yes. Here's another one that I did recently for a circus themed events. So birthday wishes. And then there's the little, when they do come out though, there's the little elephant sitting on a circus ball.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
And then
didn't you have like a die that made a box, and when they slid the drawer open, the snowballs actually came out?
Yes, and that was a class that I did as well, where we actually made a box to hold them. But we have another rubber band pop-up here that does have kind of that box kind of effect, and that's our surprise cube. So we have a die called our slider box, and it makes this cute little Matchbox style box that you can fill with anything, candy or trinkets or whatever, but it's also perfectly sized so that if you use our surprise cube pop-up,
yes,
it can fit 3 of those surprise cubes in there. And those make great little photo cubes, or you can just decorate them however.
But didn't you have them in the ball size too?
Well, the balls, we just use the smallest. We just use the balls themselves, and we just made it with the balls will not fit in this die cut box. When we did the class that had the box for the snowballs, we actually made the box out of a piece of cardstock, like you had to cut and score it.
Gotcha.
But this one we have a die for. I probably couldn't make you a die that's big enough to hold these for snowballs, because even at this size, you can imagine the size of the die and being able to die cut it in a 6-inch machine and have it be affordable for people and things like that. So when you get into the bigger boxes,
I just remember you demonstrated that, and I giggled so hard on that live.
And there is a free template on our website on KarenBurniston.com. You can go into kits and classes, and you'll find some downloads and things in there. And one of them is like Tanya named it, but it's like Karen's Springy Ball Templates or something, or box templates, not ball templates. Sorry, Karen's Springy Box Templates or something, and you can get that template to make that box to hold those balls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Most
Well,
welcome.
Karen, we've got one of your giveaways here, and we always love. I mean, I'm like super excited to do something with these. Let me go show everybody what you sent. All right, so we've got this cute little thank you die. I love that script.
Yeah.
And then we've got the little feathered friends that we used in this one. Let me pull it up a little bit. And then we've got the autumn elements. And then look at this, you guys. We've got the whole photo collage pop-up and this blender border blends. I'm so glad that you said something about the little tags on the end, because I would have never well, first of all, I would have never read it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you said it, so now I get to experiment with it. All right, and then of course we've got the little label crosshatch with all the little intricate nesting dies. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
You're most
We
welcome.
are going to give one away. So let's go ahead and draw for our winner. All right, the winner of the Karen Burniston's die bundle set is going to Terry, and Terry's last name starts with an S and ends with an H.
Nice.
Congratulations, Terry.
Congratulations, Carrie.
You guys are seeing my computer. Congratulations, Terry. We'll be emailing all of the winners on Monday. And yeah, I think that's it. Let me just check in with Harriet, make sure I'm not missing anything. She says we are good. Thank you so much, Karen, for coming on. And we hope to see you soon. You guys don't forget to go and shop using the 20% off coupon code, and the link Harriet's going to drop in the chat again. Make sure you use the link so Karen and Tanya know that the sales came from the summit. All right, you guys, we will see you tomorrow. Don't forget your 7 o'clock email. Our email will be coming out with all the links for tomorrow's presentations. And then actually we do have another wrap-up email coming out around 9 p.m. tonight. So be on the lookout for both of those. All right, good night, Karen. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.